Hi everyone, nice to see you. Thank you first of all coming back post-lunch. You actually come back, which is always a win, so I hope you're not too post-lunch coma. If you do, I'll just wake you up in an hour's time and just give you a nudge. Okay, so hopefully you're in the right room. This session is all about SEO strategies web designers can actually use. So who am I? I'm a tea lover. It's the English girl in me. Shocker, I've never had coffee in my life. I don't know if we can still be friends. Some people disown me when I say that. Promise. So I'm originally from the UK. I'm a mum to a toddler. Jacob keeps me running like anything, keeps me fit. I'm a previous educator turned entrepreneur and a web designer. I've been designing websites since the days of Dreamweaver, nearly 19 years ago. I think the grey hairs are probably starting to show now. But anyway, so that's a little bit about me. I want to actually get to know you. So let me just have a look at the mic. Now this is the part where I could sink or swim and you can either run to the door or stay. So we're going to play a little game. And it's called... another fun fact, if you want to get me on the dance floor, ABBA, Cheesy Pop, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, I'm there. So, in a minute I'm going to get you to stand up. I know. You've got to have a bit of audience participation. I'm going to show you two things on the slides, and you have to turn to the direction of your preference and pull your best ABBA move. If you've got no preference, you can just stand to the front and show me your best ABBA move. Are you willing? Up on your feet. So when the music goes, have a look and then turn either way. The first one can be a practice. Are you ready? So you're a coffee person or a tea? I'm a tea person. Those are my fans. Right, next one. This could be the divider. Oh, okay. See, find your people, whether they're cats or dogs. Next one. All right, mix. Okay, next one. Excellent. So we've got a few. This is my second WordCamp. Okay, next one. Okay, a real mix. Excellent. All right, next one. Perfect. I can see some good ABBA moves going on. A little bit of a mixture. Okay, last one, I promise. Cool, thank you so much. You can take a seat. Thank you for entertaining me. And I hope you got those post-lunch calories out the way. So amazing, it's great to get to know you a little bit more. Okay, I want to make this session as easy as possible for you. So if you want the notes from today and all the URL links and everything else, please do scan this QR code. I'll give you a second to scan it. Just so you post-lunch, you can nod off and pretend you've listened to everything I've said. Cool, has everyone managed to get that? Okay, so let's dive into a problem that haunts even the most pixel-perfect web designer and developer. Why do beautiful websites sometimes feel completely invisible online? So a couple of years ago, a plumber came to me after investing thousands into his website. It looked great. It was designed, it was on brand, fantastic. But 6 months later, he was getting absolutely zero traffic. No inquiries, no traffic, nothing. He wasn't even ranking for his business name. And he was quite frankly embarrassed. He felt let down. But here's the thing. It wasn't the design that failed. Like, it was on brand, it was consistent, beautiful. It was what the website was missing that was the issue. So you didn't start your business to become an SEO specialist. You started it to design or develop, depending on what category you fall under. But when your designs vanish from search engines entirely, that undermines everything that you worked for. So that's why we're here today, and hopefully you're in the right room. I want to give you a framework so that never happens again and your websites are found online and hopefully bringing you more clients. So SEO isn't just about keywords. I know years ago people used to stuff as many keywords as possible into it. I like to think of it as a three-legged stool. It's about your content, authority, and technical content and authority. And if you miss one, the whole thing wobbles. So let's break these things down. So first of all, you've got your technical SEO. This is the foundation. Think of technical SEO like the foundation of a house. If it's unstable, everything collapses. You simply can't rank a site that Google can't crawl. So I once partnered with a designer. Her website was built in Elementor. Elementor is actually one of my personal favorites. So the website had clear calls to action. It was amazing, the images on brand. But when we did a page speed test, it took over 7 seconds to load. And we all know if a website doesn't load in 2 seconds, you've completely lost your audience. So after running the speed test, we diagnosed a few things, cleaned up her CSS, cleaned up her bloated code, optimized images, etc., and got that page speed ranking quickly. So how does that relate to SEO and technical elements? So the technical elements include page speed, what I've just mentioned, mobile responsiveness, your heading structure. So I had a client last week, they were in the Bitcoin industry or finance. Their site had 0 H1s and 21 H2s. So visually it looked great, but they even had H2s in their header. So it was confusing search engines like Google and ChatGPT because they didn't know what it was about. What else? Having a clear URL structure, your sitemap is clear, and also your alt text. So that's really important, your alt text. So a lot of people forget about that. They upload their images, and then to me, it's just a good accessibility practice. You want your website reaching everyone, even if they're partially cited. So by having alt text, it's great that Google can actually know your images and everyone can actually read them. So I know this is a little bit high level, so I want this to be super practical, and I want to break this down of how you can investigate these. So these are the tools that I like and use a lot. So SE ranking, page speed insights, GT metrics, Screaming Frog, Google Search Console, and SEO Meta in one click. Now, before we move on, I am a massive fan of Google Search Console, and I feel like it's a really underrated tool. I think people get confused between Google Analytics and Google Search Console. So in your Google Analytics, that's where you can see where people are coming from, their location, are they using mobile or desktop, what pages are most popular, etc. Now on Google Search Console, that's where you can see where your website is coming up. So hopefully if I looked at mine today, it will be showing up as Gold Coast Web Design, SEO Specialist, etc. If my website was coming up under searches, for example, I don't know, supermarket or something, then obviously I have done my website wrong and shown up in the wrong searches. So I need to investigate why is that happening. Okay, as I mentioned, I want this session to be practical, so I want to dive into some of the tools. So my first one that is my go-to is SEO Meta Click-in-One. This is a Chrome extension. So whenever a customer comes to me, first of all, or a potential customer, I quickly go to their site and have a quick scan of it. In this, I can immediately see their heading structure, if meta descriptions are there, their alt text, etc. Now, obviously, this is a free Chrome extension, and it's great, but it's not always 100% accurate, but it's something to start with. So particularly when I'm going into maybe a discovery call with a client, I just have a quick look. It takes me a couple of minutes, just go, right, have they got serious problems, or are they kind of wanting to build further on it? So super handy, that one. Page speed insights. Does anyone use this? A few of you? Perfect. I actually love giving this to customers, and some people say, oh, you're giving away your secrets. I don't think that, because if customers can run their own speed tests, they can see their own issues, and I think that provides transparency. And plus, to be honest, even if there are issues on your clients' websites, they're not going to know how to fix it, so they're going to come back to you. So I think this is a really powerful tool that you can give them and be like really transparent and open with them, going, right, these are the issues. They can see the desktop and mobile. They're not going to understand the diagnosis, and that's when they will come back to you for help. Okay, Screaming Frog, the SEO Spider tool. Full transparency, I don't actually use this, but it's a free tool that I know a lot of people do. So I think if you're not, haven't got any of the paid SEO tools and you're wondering whether you want to go into it, this is a really good tool to do that. But remember, with any free tool, there are limitations. So if you're wanting to go into SEO further, I highly recommend going with a premium SEO software. So I personally use SE ranking. Obviously, it's not a cheap product like any other SEO, like there's SEMrush, etc. But my preference is SE ranking. Many reasons. It provides in-depth audits, keyword research, keyword tracking, you can set up projects, etc. But my favorite part of it is that I can actually connect it to Google Locker Studio, the reporting tool. So I've actually set up dynamic reports for my clients that automatically change every month, which takes one less thing away from me. And then every month I just have a quick look at the report and provide them a human paragraph summary. But at any point they can go and have a look at it. So that's my personal favorite. Everyone's got their kind of favorite ones, but that's what I would recommend. So a quick win, something you could do today is go to the last website you launched, install the SEO meta in one click, check your headings, fix any heading structure, images, then run a page speed test, check what you need to fix like bloated code, and then you might want to run your website through Screaming Frog and see what that comes up with as well. Okay, so hopefully now your site is crawlable, lightning fast, and technically solid. But what is next? So the next part is the content, the message. So if technical SEO is like your anchor, content is your sail. It's what catches the wind and moves your website forward. Technical SEO might get you indexed, but content keeps you relevant. Content is the fuel your SEO engine runs on. And this is where EAT comes in. Has anyone heard of EAT? Obviously not eating food, but EAT in relation to SEO. Any heard? No, a few of you maybe? Perfect. Okay. So EAT. It stands for experience. So show you know your stuff. Sorry, did I say experience? Yeah. Expertise, show you know your stuff. Experience, share real stories. Authority, lead to credible sources. And trust, being transparent and human. It's really essential that your content covers all these areas. So I worked with a financial planner on the Gold Coast, and he wanted more leads and a clearer message. So we reworked his blog strategy using EAT as a basis, looked at his keyword research, looked at his internal links, created a new blog template and calls to action, and now his blog pages are the most top ranked after only his set homepage. So actually on that, no, we'll come back to that. So let's talk about blogging. Now, a lot of people might think blogging belongs to in the 90s, but it definitely is not dead. I love blogging, and I think it's an absolute amazing thing to add to your website. So it's your chance to answer client questions, get you indexed, feeds Google and ChatGPT, and gives you shareable, reusable content. Now, ChatGPT is obviously, everyone's talking about ChatGPT, it's a thing at the moment. But people forget that ChatGPT actually has to search the internet to find information. You know, the AI is only as good as the information you feed. So by using a blog, a well-structured, helpful, relevant blog, this is a great way to sharpen ChatGPT searches. Also, by creating a blog, it gives your client shareable content. So for example, the financial planner, I produce the blog for him, he repurposes into his newsletter. The newsletter drives traffic to his website, which helps his SEO. He repurposes into his social media, which also drives traffic to his website. Okay, moving on now to authority, the last part of the stool. So I feel authority is probably the most forgotten leg of the stool. It tells Google, other people trust me. So for example, if you go overseas, say you want coffee. I don't, but you might. There's 2 coffee shops, one with 2 people, one with 20 people. Which do you think is the best coffee? Probably the one with 20 people. And that works in the online space as well. If more traffic is going to one website over the other, it kind of indicates that this one is probably a better website than the other one. So how can we build authority? So the first one is get backlinks. Look for guest blog examples, podcasts, etc. The more backlinks you get, the more it says to Google, this one is safe to dock at. Think of it like a lighthouse. Also, when you're getting backlinks, domain authority is becoming even more important. So domain authority is a number out of 100, and it tells Google or the other search engines how trustworthy your website is. So if you've just launched a website, your domain authority is likely to be quite low because you just launched it. Compared to things like 9 News or BBC, they've got quite a high domain authority. So the higher the domain authority linking to your website, the better that is. So it's better to get one link from a high domain authority than two kind of lower domain or spammy websites. Next one, use consistent NAB, name, address, phone. So make sure on your website, for example, if your phone number is 1, it is the same on the directories. Also, like your opening hours, everything else, if your opening hours on your website say 8 till 6 and your Google business profile say 9 till 10, that's showing inconsistency between them. So make sure they're all up to date and correct. Obviously, claim and optimize your Google business profile. I like to think of it like another social media. Keep adding updates to it. Make sure that you're showing Google that you are active on it. And bonus, make sure you get and respond reviews. So personally, I do in my offboarding processes. I set up, as soon as I launch a website, 2 weeks later, I ask them for a review and make sure that you respond to that. So how do you find these opportunities? I don't know if anyone's heard of SourceBottle. A few of you, amazing. These two, SourceBottle and Harrow, are two platforms that journalists put call out for. And that's how I've managed to get backlinks to my website. They can do call out for anything. So for recently they were looking for architects. They wanted the latest house trends. I've got in articles, they were looking for the latest technology trends. So go onto them and just look for opportunities where you can add your expertise. Search Facebook groups. There's a really good Facebook group called Podcast Be a Guest. There's people around the world asking for guests. So go and have a look where you can possibly add your expertise, or your clients could. Reach out to local community groups. So if people are publishing things online, amazing opportunity to show up in your community. And think about your local Chamber of Commerce if you've got one. So for example, my local Chamber of Commerce is like $100 to join for a year, and that's an amazing backlink. They've got a high domain authority, easy link like a directory to mine. So a quick win, ask for 3, if you haven't already got your Google business profile, make sure you do, and ask for 3 reviews this week, and make sure you reply to all of them. Google does notice. So let's bring it all together. You don't need to become an SEO nerd, you just need to remember your technical, which is like your anchor, your content, the sell, and authority, the lighthouse. If you build with these in mind, you'll stop launching invisible websites. This is what I call the foundation of moving from chaos to control. When you implement even a few of these tactics, you take control of your clients' success online and elevate your work as a designer and developer. And I'm sure the more you develop that, the more you get further clients. So if you remember just one thing, SEO is the bridge between great design and great results. You already know how to create beauty. Let's make sure that you get seen. So 3 things you can do this week is run an SEO audit before your next launch, write or refresh a blog post with EAT in mind, so the experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Claim your Google business profile and get reviews. And that's it. Any questions?
Curious about what your thoughts are with respect to AI and Google. Obviously, it's getting harder and harder with your paid, sponsored, and now the AI. And obviously, what you were saying about writing for the chatbots. But what are your thoughts just in general? I know it's like a big.
So I think we need to change what we measure. So a lot of clients are seeing a dip in traffic, but not necessarily a dip in leads, because a lot of searches are becoming non-clickable. They're not resulting in clicks because the information is coming up, which is why it's super important that you have your contact details the same across directories. So really, yes, we can still report on traffic, but it's not really a representation of how that's coming up in your ChatGPT searches. So like your emails and phone numbers are coming up and people are ringing directly from there. So we're having to change what we measure, and I think the most important thing is educating your client that yes, traffic isn't going to be high. That's an old method. It's like, people used to keyword stuff all the time. That's the old way of doing SEO. The new way is measuring leads, and that's the problem. It's so hard to track that lead came from a chat set. If we can measure that better, that would be great. I'm sure there will be in the future. But that's why my biggest thing is focusing on the blog strategies, making sure you've got your contact details up to date, and then checking in with your clients, like how many leads are you getting? If they start complaining that their traffic's going down, but are your leads going down? And educating them that. Does that help?
So I was just wondering that, like being really general versus specific. Can you just talk to that? Like, especially say you've got a business, a couple of things to focus on. Like, would you have one website with a whole bunch of, you have different sites?
That's a big question. It really depends on the business. The more traffic you get to the website, the better. So in a way, if you had one website, they were connected services, then I'd keep it on one website and think about the user experience. Think about what they're searching for and then divide it into those other services pages. Or, for example, I'm just recently working with a graphic designer and we've decided we're not actually going to do a service page. We're going to do her home page, and then it's going to lead to her portfolio, which will then showcase how she solves different problems. So her homepage will show the categories and what she can do, and then instead of doing a traditional service page, because she has so many different ones, we're actually going to do it through a portfolio. So depending on what the business is, think about it, but you only have to, you need one keyword per page, because if you focus on 5, you're going to miss it. It's like when you've emailed 5 people, no one responds. It's like that with your keywords. So you need one keyword per page, which should also impact your sitemap. So think about what your service is, what's the keyword you want to attract, and then how they connect. Does that help?
In regards to SEO plugins for WordPress, what's your favourite and why?
Okay, my favourite is SEO Press Pro. I mean, to be honest, they're all kind of much the same. So it does come down to just personal preference. But I'm not a fan of Yoast because of the traffic lights. Because a client will go on and be like, oh, holy shit, it's orange, I need to be green. But it's very fickle, and there's a lot more to it. So I don't like Yoast because the client will freak out by, oh, that's green, that's what, I want them all green, well, actually, no. So I like the SEO Press because of that and the private.
What do you think of Uber Suggest? What do you think? Have you used it?
Have I used Uber Suggest? Yes, I have. When I first started looking at SEO, I did look at it. There's some really useful articles that he does publish. So he did actually publish an article recently about the blogs, and blogs that are written by humans are actually growing faster than AI-generated blogs. So there's some really interesting articles. Do I use it now? No, because I find the features limited, and that's why I've gone to the SE ranking.
If you're rebranding yourself and building a new website for that new brand, I know we do 301 redirects, but is there any other tips to make sure that you're bringing the traffic you had from one website to your website?
Yeah, super good question. So obviously you're changing your domain, I'm guessing, in the rebrand, yeah. So I'd be setting up redirects as well. Setting up redirects. There's not, the redirecting would be the massive thing, I think. So making sure that if they land on your old web page, they go to your new page. And you might even want to do redirects, like if they land on your own service page, your old service, they're going direct to the new one, whatever. Apart from that, there's not too much you can do with rebranding like that. I think I would do a massive kind of email, social media campaign, just when you launch, getting as much traffic as you can to that. I would do a citation campaign as well to your new one. Update your Google business profile and be super active on all those kind of authoritativeness around that, just so you can keep on that traffic and then get your domain building as fast as you can. Definitely look.
I know I've had 2 trains of thought on this. If I build a website, I'm always putting my brand, put a link in the footer, I've heard that it's a good thing to do, but it seems to bring traffic in.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do. I wouldn't be against it. It's bringing traffic. It's a link. It's not only a link for you, but it's actually a link for your client as well. So I think it's a win-win. Just making sure that the links are, if you're rebranding, you'll have to go back and do all those links. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. I'm happy to always connect. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram. Happy to always answer questions. And yeah, thank you very much for coming.